Welcome to the show that looks at truth, fiction, and reality with a smirk. I'm Aaron Peterson.
I'm Amanda Sink.
And I'm Zack Barkerson.
And welcome back to Smirk. Each week, one of our hosts introduces an original short story, which we then use as a springboard for a spirited and lighthearted discussion on whatever the moral or theme of the story is. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast app, review us on Apple Podcasts, or just visit the website at smirkpodcast.com and share with your friends. Tell them. This week, it's Zack's turn, and you know what that means. Somebody's going to die.
I hope so. I would hate to be inconsistent.
Usually somebody died. Even when he said, I'm going to tell a happy story, somebody died.
Yeah, I noticed that you guys have a different opinion on what happy is than me, I guess.
He did a Spider-Man one.
Yeah.
And Stan Lee died.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He created death in the world with his story. Yeah. So
I killed Stan Lee.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
I felt guilty the next day. That's true. That is a true statement, though.
Remember that? We recorded that episode, the Stan Lee story, but we did it, the day before he died, I think?
Yeah, it was the very next day.
That was crazy.
That's uncomfortable.
I know. That's why I said it was me.
Well, you and Bill Maher should hash it out then.
Bill Maher is afraid of his own irrelevancy.
Oh my God.
I like that. What rabbit hole are you going to throw us down in this week?
No one dies in this story.
Oh, it's happy.
Do they get mutilated?
Wouldn't that kill you?
I mean, maybe not.
We're just walking around nubbed up.
Yeah, it's just it's a story of torture. It's a true story of this one time where I cut a man's fingers off, bone section by bone section. It was pretty cool.
It's way too detailed. I just got scared the hell up.
Yeah, definitely not a true story. Not at all.
Not anymore. Wink, wink. Nod, nod. Giddy up.
Didn't happen in the basement of a magic store in Chicago. Definitely not.
Let's do your story. Let's go.
Did you say a mattress store?
Magic store.
Oh.
Magic. There are magic stores.
Although a mattress store is where the magic happens. right there in the store.
Oh, man, I'm thinking about all the employees who've banged on the mattresses you bought.
Well, I mean, you got to try the mattress out. I think that's fair.
Yeah, no, it would be irresponsible if you didn't.
You're going to have it for like 15 years, right?
So you want to make sure that some strange employees of Mattress Firm knocked one out on it.
Or while you're surveying and you're looking around, you're like, can me and the wife try this one out? And they go, well, sure, you absolutely check it out, see if it's comfortable. I'm like, no. We're going to try this out. You should probably go get a coffee or something. Or watch. I don't care.
Yeah. Please watch.
Will you hold my camera, please?
Yeah. Make sure I stay in frame. Only do landscape. I don't like portrait. It doesn't really capture my ass.
Yeah. You want this to go on Instagram, so.
All right. Take us away.
So I realized I hadn't proofreaded the story, so it's going to be a lot of fun, guys, okay?
Great.
No, it's going to be great. Live read. Can't be any worse than Amanda's monologues.
Wow. I quit.
You see how I turned that around, though?
You quit? When you said I quit, that's the shortest answer you've ever given to anything.
All right. Gather around the campfire. It's time for a story. The facility had been on our radar for some time, but it always looked too well maintained. Through our nearby outposts, we kept watch night after night. Tristan was the most vigilant of our group, mostly because he always sought to please Miguel. Then again, we all did. The fourth of our little squad was Tony, Miguel's best friend and his favorite partner. And tonight, Tristan sent us a message. The facility was operating light. We had gathered at our forested outposts so we could make the group decision. It was an easy call. Even after an hour, we saw nobody enter or exit the facility, so tonight was definitely the night. Even as we approached, we didn't see a soul about. Sweat was beating down my brow, stinging my eye. This was intense, and we've never had an infiltration quite like this. Miguel leads the way as always, constantly fearless and brave. His height allowed him to easily dismantle the security camera above the door. Every time we strike out together, I always walk away impressed with Miguel. Miguel creaked open the door in front of us, and he waved us forward. As the group ducked out of sight, I approached behind, and my jaw almost hit the floor. For what seemed to stretch out for miles was a warehouse full of goods, pallets stacked high, forklifts abuzz with activity. Despite how valuable the contents of the building were, it was truly a low-alert night. We had made the right call. We ducked in and out of aisleways, using the palace to hide ourselves. Even though our dark clothing kept us hidden, it still surprised me how nobody noticed our foursome. Fools are so unaware when they can't sense the danger nearby. But we weren't looking to hurt anyone. Not tonight, anyway. We got to our goal, the real treasure of the building. This stuff was worth so much in the right hands, we only needed a single container. But Miguel never was a fan of good enough, and loaded a container into each of our hands. Without hesitation or thought, we accepted the heavy burden. Stealing 4 is better than 1 after all. Unbelievably, we retraced our very same path with no issue along the way. It would be as if we were never there. We got back to our outpost and opened up the packages. Staring back at us was a sight so beautiful, I couldn't help but smile wide. Miguel, as always, led us to victory. And victory is so sweet.
Is that the end of it?
It was, yeah.
So it's a MacGuffin.
It is a MacGuffin. Yes.
Stealing stuff is cool.
Victory is sweet.
Wow. Actually, Aaron, pretty close. The moral of the story is the thrill of crime.
Oh.
That's what I meant.
It was pretty close.
That's exactly what I meant. I was going, the thrill of the crime.
Before you guess, I was literally going to be like, you'll never guess what the moral of this story is.
Stealing stuff is cool.
It is, man, right?
No, it's bad.
It is, though, right?
I mean, when I was a kid, I might have done that, and it probably was pretty cool, but it's wrong, and I wouldn't do it again.
Great. Well, we're going to get there. But first of all, I want to know what you guys imagine the item to be. How did your imagination take to the theft?
Honestly, I kind of just figured that you guys were going to steal. Not you guys. It's not like this was your true story. I thought it was just going to be for money.
It was going to be what?
For money. I'm simple.
They sold big stacks of cash?
Yeah.
I actually saw it as I don't know why, but I had this old man-made plague going on in the background, and they were on their own, and they kind of just found this warehouse, and they just wanted to get some goods to survive and whatnot, and they found the cure. So that's kind of where I was going, is they found the cure to what's been ravaging the world, because it was hidden in this warehouse, and they just didn't want people like them, the criminals, to have it.
You have a very good imagination.
Yeah, much better than mine.
It was either that or a naked mermaid.
I kind of like both.
4 naked mermaids.
No, just one. And they got to fight to the death among themselves. Who gets to take her?
Zach, are you going to tell us what the item is?
Retain her to the ocean.
No, of course not. That would be ridiculous.
Well then.
I was curious what your imaginations would make the objects. In my mind, as I was reading it just now, I was thinking you were in like the warehouse where the Ark of the Covenant was hidden.
Ooh,
at the end of Raiders.
There you go.
They got some ill-gotten gains from there.
And it's kind of whatever you consider the greatest treasure to be. That's kind of what I went with. But I also had this big apocalypse thing going on. I don't know why.
So the greatest treasure to you would be a single mermaid?
That's an option.
Wow.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I'm one person. I don't need more than one.
That would be greedy.
Yeah, I'm not greedy. Like, let the rest of the ocean have the other ones. I just want the one.
Where are you going to keep her?
In my bathtub.
Daryl Hannah. Splash.
Just keep her in my bathtub. I'll keep bringing ice and water.
What about when you need to shower?
She can stay in there. You know what I'm saying?
And she's living in your bathtub in this story?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I don't want her in the living room. I want to watch whatever I want to watch, but...
Are you going to put like a little radio in there for her? Or?
Maybe. I'll just get her one of those things. You know how they have those machines that play white noise and waves and whatever? So she'll feel like she's at home. Every once in a while, I'll go to the pet store, get her some goldfish. Be all right.
Goldfish buddies?
I keep my ladies happy.
Feed her fish food.
Here you go. I'm going to sprinkle it, baby. Yeah. There we go.
Would it be messed up if you gave a mermaid sushi to eat?
No.
No, sushi's delicious.
That. No, it's not. But do that.
We give dogs chicken. I feel like that's not much different.
But she's half fish. The dog ain't half chicken.
Exactly.
It brings up an interesting point. Why is it wrong to eat people? I mean, if...
What?
We can eat cows, we can eat deer, we can eat fish, we can eat everything else except things that look like us. We can't eat dogs either. Why is it wrong to eat dogs? I don't know. There may be a tasty, Shih Tzu out there.
No, man, I'm pro eating humans, dogs, cats. I don't care.
I am not.
As long as you saute it.
Yeah, food's food.
You guys
Get a little peanut sauce going on a dog. I bet that tastes pretty good.
Get a little wiener dog, and then you can just get a bun. You're good to go.
Look at that. It's so much easier.
Roast them whole. over a Spitfire.
Somebody just threw this freaking podcast in the delete rack.
Yeah, I gotta be honest, this is not where I'm at the conversation to go.
sorry. What do you want to talk about? What do you want to talk about? Ark of the Covenant?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So, how do you guys like Indiana Jones? No. Well, and then I want you guys to be completely honest. Have you ever stolen anything, premeditated or otherwise?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not copping to any illegal activities on a podcast.
I didn't cop to anything. I just said yes.
Yeah. No. Yeah. You guys aren't going to get into the details, huh?
No.
Afraid.
No. Not in a very long time, and I felt bad about it, but yes, I have.
Oh, did you?
I did not feel bad, hypothetically, if I were to have done this.
Oh, we're going to do
I'm pretty sure the statute of limitations is up.
How do you know? Maybe it was last week.
Well, let's just do it. Let's go the Ted Bundy route. Put yourself in the third person and tell us if someone had committed the crime that you maybe or maybe not.
Right. I think somebody in this particular mindset who felt comfortable enough putting their safety, their life on the line, okay, with police officers, jail time, depends on how much you're stealing. They're probably not that worried about the consequences. And it may have been such a small action that it wouldn't have resulted in affecting anyone.
Great. How did that Snickers taste?
I don't like nuts.
I'm not touching that one.
Seems like a wasted crime spree.
Well,
yeah, you stole a Snickers and you didn't like them?
I mean, it says right on it, it satisfies. I think you would be fine if you stole Snickers.
maybe that's what I needed was a Snickers at the end of my
I'll tell you one as a kid, I stole a
thievery.
penny racer. There you go.
A penny
What's
eraser?
a penny racer?
Oh, I forgot. You're both young.
Is it a pen eraser or a penny racer?
Yes, he stole an eraser for ink.
They have those. They have pens that erase.
But do you think I would seek that out? Like
I don't.
that's my crime, my criminal empire?
It was so boring in the early 80s that was the height of technology.
Maybe the whole thing was
That was my Ocean's 11 right there.
you did an exam for school when you did go to school, and then you needed to change your answer to get a better grade, so you needed to steal a pen eraser and change your answers so you could get a good grade and pass.
Why don't you leave the theorizing to me? Because I don't know what that meant. It's just so weird and random. But more possible than the apocalypse scenario.
Or
No.
the mermaid.
No, my buddy and I went in. I'm not going to name him. I don't want him convicted. We went to an old hardware store, and they had penny racers were these little cars that, and I thought I told this story on Smirk before. Maybe I didn't, but they were these little cars. You put a penny in the back of them, and you wound them up and let them go, and they just ran. And I think the penny was like weight to keep them grounded.
Oh, interesting.
They were really tiny.
Oh, wow. They're ugly, too.
Yeah, they were ugly. And you know what else they were? Free, because I got them out of that store.
Yeah.
They kind of look like those toaster cars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we got caught because we weren't.
You got caught?
Yeah, we were caught. We had to take them back.
You're a bunch of lousy crooks.
My mom made me take them back.
Was she like, how did you afford this?
No, she knew I had no money, so she wasn't stupid.
She's like, you're 7. I know you ain't out there mowing lawns.
My mom isn't one of those moms where the kid's like, oh no, I got this. My buddy bought this. My mom isn't one that buys that stuff. So she's just like, no, I know you didn't get this. Honestly, you're not going to be a thief in my house.
Good for her.
Mm-hmm. Had to take them back. Sucked. They didn't prosecute, thank God, because I think they were only like $1.90. But
Yeah, prosecute a 9-year-old or whatever.
officer, here's the deal. Here was my mindset that I was going through. I really needed that penny racer because we were going to race, and I needed 2 of them. Can't do it with one.
That would look ridiculous.
I was considering the other player here. I think that shows that I'm selfless.
That's a good point, though.
You're right?
It is a good point.
Yeah.
I'm on board.
I mean, mine was makeup. Mine was like eyeshadow. So I helped the world. I did the world a favor because then they got to see me with makeup. Yeah, well,
That's one way to look at a crime.
Yeah. I'm benefiting the community.
Man, I stole stuff all the time.
Okay. Like a car?
No, like, you pocket a candy bar, or I remember my first crime when I was like 5 years old. There was a newspaper for one of the Batman movies they were advertising. I would say maybe Returns or something, or Forever, one of the terrible ones. And I remember I wanted to read it, but my grandma said no, so I snuck it past the counter lady. I took it home and I read it underneath the stairs.
Like Harry Potter?
Yeah, there's a room under my grandparents' stairs, like Harry Potter. It was my little spot.
I did do a newspaper theft once.
What is with the papers?
Well, hang on. Like, I wanted the new paper, and we didn't get it for whatever. I think because back then, you could pay for every day, or you paid for Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we got every day except Sunday because Sunday was more expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So I took Saturdays and threw it in the neighbor's yard and took their Sunday paper.
They're like, why did I get 2 Saturdays?
And then I figured that they would call the newspaper and they'd get another Sunday or something. But that wasn't right. But I did it. I was a kid.
How old were you?
Like 10.
Oh.
Yeah, I was a 10-year-old reading the paper. We didn't have internet.
Wait, so you committed crimes at 9 and 10? You had a really dour time in that period of your life.
I'm not getting into anything else I did. Those are the only ones I'm copping to. Those are the only ones I'm copping to, copper.
Did you ever steal a real car?
Did I ever steal a rail car?
You stole the fake cars. Did you steal a real one?
Well,
she can't say the word real. That's what's happening.
I stole my mom's. Does that count?
Yeah, you stole it.
I can cop to that. I did steal my mom's car. I was 15, didn't have a driver's license. She had a brand new car, and I drove it around while she was sleeping. Shh.
How was it?
It was fun.
Beautiful joyride?
Except for because we'd be going with our friends and we were 15 and it was like midnight or 1 in the morning and then a cop would drive by. So we're quickly dodging down other streets, pulling in people's driveways. There's a whole lot of Fast and Furious action going on. So
you were the inspiration.
Yeah, on that one I would say I probably was, yeah. It's funny, my buddy Dennis, I think his grandpa always said I was a bad influence. And I disagree. He was a worse influence. But in this instance, this is probably more me.
Well, sweet. I'm glad we're all criminals.
Mm-hmm. What else you got? Anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah, no, well, I mean, yeah, we are going to keep talking about crime because we're talking about the thrill of the crime, how exciting it is to steal that Snickers bar. You know how you pull it off, though, is you buy like a bunch of Skittles, but you pocket one, and you get the thrill. So I've heard. But anyway, no, I was curious. You guys think experimenting with crime is a natural part of growing up?
Yes, I do. I think there's a whole. You're taught what's right and wrong, as you're growing up. Hopefully, if your parents are worth a damn, you're taught right from wrong, and you're going to experiment because there's a portion in your head that wants, especially if you're very independent, wants to go against what your parents are saying. And if they did at least a decent job, at some point you will realize that was wrong in some aspect, probably later in life. It's very imperative that if you're going to know right from wrong, you have to experience right and wrong. If that makes sense? I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much where I was going to go. That you can be told what right and wrong is, but you don't know what right and wrong is until you've experienced that. And I don't know that every action happens to be a crime, but if you color on the walls in your parents' house and they're like, that's wrong, you've now, like, say it's an apartment or something, so you're renting it. Now the parents have to pay for that. I'm not speaking from experience or anything with a Sharpie, but...
With a Sharpie?
It was...
How could you?
I didn't have crayons, apparently. I don't know.
That's kind of dumb. They don't erase.
Well, I was young.
You're like, I gotta have this picture on this wall.
Yeah, I was not my mom's favorite at that moment.
Did it at least look like something?
I think it was just words. And maybe a heart.
You're just writing words like, the.
No, I think it was like a boy's name and a heart or something.
Ooh.
Steve.
Why is it so angry?
Because the Sharpie is forever.
Yeah.
Steve forever.
Yeah, you're definitely upset if you're writing on the wall in Sharpie.
No, it was like I put a little heart. So it was a good thing.
Did eventually you get a dagger through there or anything? Because I can't imagine you stay with Steve forever.
No.
Yeah, did it work out with you and Steve?
No. I don't even know whose name it was. I don't even remember.
What happens if he comes into your room? He's going to see his name
the
on your
bathroom.
wall.
It was next to the light switch.
In the bathroom?
She wanted everybody to know that Steve was the one.
That's a beat your ass scenario right there.
I got my ass beat for that. I did.
You had that one coming.
But those things teach you right and wrong. You have to experience to learn, I think, to effectively understand that things are right and wrong. And it's on a different level.
And also that some things erase and some things don't.
Yeah.
God. I'll just wash that off, Mom. No, you're probably not gonna.
Oh, she made me scrub. And some of it mostly did come off. And then I just had to paint over it.
I would imagine paint would be the only scenario where that's all gone. Yeah.
I'm telling you, with those like crackly, not popcorn, but where you can feel the ridges of the wall. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do know what you're talking about. There's a word for it, but let's
I don't know it. But if you scrub it hard enough and long enough, it will fade to the point where you can just do like one little coat of paint over it and you're good to go. Pro tip for parents.
Yeah, pro tip. Wow.
That was a side.
You guys are correct. Yeah, you can be told what right and wrong is. You're not actually going to know until you do something yourself. And I would say anybody who ever said they have not committed a crime is an absolute out liar.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Everybody has done something.
There's done something. Maybe not different levels of variances of extremity, but...
Yeah, it's not like you have to commit murder to know that murder is wrong.
Yeah, I've never done that one that I'm going to admit to because there is no statute of limitations there. But yeah, some things you just know are wrong.
Right. And you learn about mistakes as you get older. You learn about consequences, and consequences to bad things help you to mediate what pathway you're going to take in life, hopefully.
Or you learn how dumb criminals are. That everyone keeps getting caught, but you keep getting away with it. Like, what are these idiots doing?
But some stuff is, you do the same thing and somebody else just has bad luck. Like nobody should ever drink and drive, right? We all agree with that. But I'm sure we've all done it at some point. So when someone does get a DUI, that doesn't make you the better criminal. It just means they had a bad stroke of luck and they did the same thing you did but got caught. Do you ever feel bad about those kinds of things? Like, man, I can't believe I didn't get caught for that. I got to be careful. Not do that thing again.
When I go speeding every day of my life.
Well, that obviously hasn't sunk in then.
I've gotten a few tickets, but...
But it wasn't a powerful enough lesson.
I modified my speed. I don't speed. Now I speed 5 to 7 miles over the speed limit. Now I don't do 15 to 20 over the speed limit.
So I was once told by a judge that it is a speed limit, not a speed suggestion.
Exactly. That's true.
It is true, but I've knocked on the table.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Let me just hypothesize.
Okay.
Let's say you keep your credit card in your purse, I assume?
Well, I don't want to tell you where it's at.
Okay, well, you have a credit card at some point.
It's in my wallet.
Somebody steals your credit card and
Bastards.
racks up a bill of $600, and the credit card company says you are liable for it. For whatever reason, you don't get out of it. You're liable for it. So you got to pay that $600.
What?
Let me finish. Now, 3 months later, same criminal steals your credit card again and charges $550. Does that make him less of a criminal?
No. I see your logic in my speeding, but that's very different.
No.
Yes.
It's a crime. It's a level of crime, but it's still a crime.
550 to 600. That's only a $50 difference,
It's
man.
less.
It's not that much less.
He's thinking about you now. He's approving. He's concerned about your credit.
He's getting better and better. He's stealing less, making it easier for you to replenish.
Here's the difference. The speeding.
His funds.
The speeding ticket is only going to affect me. Obviously, unless I cause a car crash.
What are you talking about? That's completely inaccurate. The speed limit is there because it will affect other people.
But when you steal directly to somebody else, it's not even for you. Like, it's not something you're doing just to yourself or could be just to yourself.
It sounds like a criminal justifying the crime.
Yes, this is actually a tremendous point to arrive at, is that, everyone commits crimes, but they always they put their own little moral limitations on it. And like, well, this isn't that bad, or, so I downloaded a movie. Who's that hurting? Stuff like that.
Speeding is so different.
No,
everyone's a crook.
So different.
I'm 100%. It's a crime.
It's different than stealing $600. $600 of theft can get you like a misdemeanor or a felony.
You can kill someone if you're driving too erratic or fast.
Yes, I work in insurance.
So that's a life. But I guess you would, $50.
You would think working in insurance, you would maybe not speed.
I don't speed as I speed with traffic. Like, I speed 5 to 7 miles over the speed limit.
So you're saying your $50 is more important than a life?
Oh my gosh.
That's what I heard. Did you hear that, Zack? That's kind of what I heard.
For all I'm hearing is she has a disdain for human life.
Oh my God, that's not true.
Which I can appreciate.
That's not true. No.
Interesting.
To say that you don't speed would be a total lie, too.
I never said I didn't speed.
Well, then
I'm also not here trying to justify my criminal activities. I realize that I do speed from time to time, but I rarely speed, honestly. I don't speed that often.
So you're a grandpa. Which it can actually be just as hazardous by going under the speed limit.
No, I'm not a grandpa. I go the speed limit, and the reason for that is because I've seen accidents and it's caused by that. So I've learned a lesson. I used to feel the same way you did, Amanda.
Well,
and then I realized I don't want to lose my $50. That guy's not better than me because a crime's a crime.
I don't want to lose my $50. Just take in your $50.
We had a whole scenario.
The state, I would think.
Well, the state's taking more than 50. I'm
the
like,
whole
where's he getting
scenario
a
from a little bit ago where I was talking about a criminal that took $50 less. That doesn't make the crime any less. The crime is a crime.
No, but that's not true because there are different levels of crimes.
Yeah, I'm just saying if you're still committing the same crime in that scenario, you're going 5 miles over or 12 miles over, you're still committing a crime. You're speeding. Period.
But it's different.
If a guy steals 550 or he steals 600, that's not any difference. The same crime.
Okay, well then let's try and do it this way: 250 and 300. Because once you steal over $250, then it becomes a different charge because it's a different level of crime.
Grand larceny. I understand.
So
criminal law.
Same thing for speeding. Just like when you can speed, you have a regular speeding ticket, an intermediate speeding ticket, and excessive speeding ticket.
That's exactly why I said 12 miles and not 15. Because
right, but my scenario wasn't 12. Mine is 5 to 7.
You're still breaking the law. It's just various.
But the purpose of this discussion is to say that there are different levels of a crime. Not even if it's the same crime, there's 100%, different levels.
But I was saying that I was giving the example of the exact same crime, just because it's with the exact same. Because it was over 250 no matter what. 550, 600, same crime. 5 miles or 12 miles, still illegal. Crime. They're all the same crime.
But they're different levels of a crime.
Okay.
So anyway, everyone commits crime.
Yeah.
I drive the speed limit.
You don't drive.
No, not anymore because I don't have insurance. But when I was pulled over for speeding without insurance, boy, was that a hefty fee. So now I drive the speed limit.
By just not driving at all?
It makes it a lot
You drive 0?
Yeah. Well, I got tired of paying in Illinois to get my license back. They kept not giving it to me. All right. Anyway.
Yeah, it sounds like their problem.
Stop doing stuff to get it taken away.
No, I got it. It's a whole story.
Maybe that'll be a Smirk story someday.
That could be its own episode of Smirk, honestly.
I think it probably could.
Aaron knows the story. But anyway, do you guys think the story is truth or fiction?
I forgot the story.
Well, yeah, because apparently the moral of the story is now traffic law.
Truth. I think it's truth.
Fiction.
It's truth.
Aww.
It was me. I did this.
What was the item?
I'm a criminal. It's fun. Like I changed all the names. Obviously, I don't want to knock my boys out.
Mm-hmm.
But the outpost is a real thing because we built we sold aluminum siding from a junkyard and we built ourselves a little fort in a forest. That was nearby so we could watch the Frito-Lay factory.
That's kind of fun. I mean, wrong, but fun.
Yeah, it was a bonding exercise for all of us. And, take girls back to the aluminum siding and make out.
And didn't we... Well, those
what?
are some really classy ladies you got there.
That's what you...
Baby, you want to go back to my clubhouse, my aluminum siding clubhouse?
Make out?
Yeah. Let's do this. Let's make some magic happen.
Anyway, it was a Frito-Lay factory, and we really did. Yeah, we unplugged the camera. Then we snuck in during business hours, and we stole a box of chips each.
That's like Ocean's 11 right there.
It's pretty great, man.
You're an aspiring criminal. Why did you give up this life?
We found out in season 1 he stole some garden gnomes, too. So, I mean, it sounds like
you have a pattern.
Did you stop this nonsense?
Hey, yeah, man, I was a crook when I was young. What do you want from me?
Okay.
Did you learn?
Yeah.
I was raised by a family of crooks.
Did you learn right from wrong after that? When you grew up?
Yeah, I don't steal up. I think the worst offense I do now is sometimes I'll read a comic book PDF online instead of buying one.
Is that a criminal offense, though, if it's online?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Of course it is.
What?
If you download a movie or a song, it is also a crime.
But I thought they had comic books available online.
Sure, they also have movies and music available online. But if you circumvent the marketplace and you just decide to do it for free, that's still theft. But I know you don't have a concept of what crime is because you don't think speeding is a crime.
I didn't say it's not a crime.
You kind of did.
It's just a lesser crime.
It was like
it's
20
not comparable.
minutes. It was kind of 20 minutes of you saying it's not a crime when you do it.
No, it is a crime. I confess that was a crime for me. It's just not as severe as speeding. Like, I lessened my criminal activity from 20 miles an hour to 5 to 7.
Oh, I used to speed 20 over?
Yeah.
That's very dangerous.
Regularly.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
How are you alive?
That's a good question.
Anyway, no, yes, I have ceased criminal activity.
All criminal
right.
activity?
Good for you.
For the most part. Well, it's frustrating. I pay a subscription fee to read unlimited comics, and then they don't have one. I got to find it somehow.
That's when the PDF comes into play.
But what if somebody, okay, is it still, and literally I've never looked at a comic book online, but what if somebody, like, takes a picture of their comic?
That's stealing.
If they take,
And you look at their pictures. You download those
The
pictures.
line is you have to remove the words from the word balloons, and you can legally upload the pictures.
The what?
You have to remove the text from the word balloons, the spoken dialogue.
Really?
That's how you, if you want to like make a YouTube video about comics or something.
So you can still have the images, and that's not...
Yeah, artists are not treated fairly.
Oh, that's
just-
really sad.
Aw.
I'm sorry. Well, look at history. I don't have to tell you.
That's pretty depressing.
Remember that writer strike in television?
Yeah, that was
Yep.
brutal. That was brutal. We got some really bad TV when that was over. They were rushing to get them scripts out. Like, they weren't even trying anymore.
Was that 24 season 6 with like his whole family came into play?
Yeah, I think so.
Because that is trash television.
All right, what is the title of your story?
The 5-finger discount.
That makes sense.
That's cute.
I see what you mean. I
Yeah,
like
I thought it was-
baseball.
I thought it was fun.
What kind of chips did you
You're
get?
way too proud of this, man. You're like still like, you're like that 60-year-old guy who never really went anywhere in life. He's like, there's one time when I was 13, I stole his chips. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm kind of Billy Badass over here.
Yeah, basically, yeah. I've going nowhere in my life and recorded this stupid podcast with you jerk-offs. So,
You're welcome. We give you some
No,
purpose in life now.
I just try to be more... Everyone has committed crimes. I just try to be open about mine. That's all.
That's fair.
But
You can't go back and change the past, but you can, like, I learned I don't steal chips from Frito-Lay factories anymore.
just from the grocery store.
Do you go to Doritos now?
I think they're probably
Doritos
all owned
are
by the same
Frito,
company.
aren't they?
Yeah, I think Frito-Lay owns everything. They do.
I don't steal garden gnomes anymore.
Well, that was a stupid thing the first time.
What about
It was
Snickers?
Funny. Snicker? No, I used to... I just don't steal... Shoplifting was real because a buddy of mine got jailed up for a few days because he was trying to steal a bunch of beef jerky.
What?
Well, he was a fool. He opened up his backpack and started stuffing beef jerky, and they're like, no one was going to notice.
They were like, we're going to jail you on the principle that you're an idiot.
Did it get pegged by a police dog? And the police dog just pinned him on the ground. Give me the jerky.
The clerk caught him red-handed. See, that's the problem, man. People commit crime and they start getting cocky about it because they've gotten away with it. That's how you get caught.
And there is some truth to the whole concept that there is a thrill involved. There's always a thrill of doing something that you're not supposed to do or you shouldn't do. And that's definitely, that falls into that. I just hope as you get older, you realize don't do it again. You learn not to do those things again.
Like having sex in a movie theater.
No,
Or on a plane.
That's always game.
That's fun till the day you die.
You're both consenting adults. You know what I mean? It's everybody else's problem that they don't want,
that they don't want to watch.
they don't want to watch.
Yeah, and I guarantee you the 16-year-old projectionist is probably watching.
Yeah, the managers can watch from their home. Just so you know, infrared cameras are real.
Well, now I got a challenge.
I like it when they watch. No, I was gonna say, yeah, I never really experimented with drugs, so this is kind of my drug was crime.
Hmm.
You always get a big rush out of it, but then you get older and you're like, this is really not.
Yeah.
What am I doing?
I got lucky. This is you know what? I could have spent like a couple of years in the county poke, and that doesn't, and where they ironically you get poked. So I don't really want to do that.
Why am I risking it for a 65-cent candy bar?
Right.
I'm
risking being somebody's girlfriend because I was hungry.
Especially when they have a 3 for 2 special.
Wait.
Yeah. Well, then you steal 2, and then you're like, oh my god, now I got 3 for 4.
Oh my God. All right. Join the conversation by joining our Facebook group. As our show goes, we will occasionally pick listener stories to read and discuss in Smirk. If you'd like a chance to have yours read, email it to mystory@smirkpodcast.com. I think we have some coming around the bend. You can follow us on Twitter at Smirk Podcast. Use the show's hashtag Smirk. Don't miss an episode. Be sure to subscribe to Smirk in your podcast app of choice and check out our website at smirkpodcast.com.
And as you write your own life story, always remember to tell it with a smirk. You crook.
You sound way proud of that stealing.
Yeah, man, it was a fun heist. It was fun because we planned it. It was premeditated. We made the moves.
You're like giving the cops all the information they need right now.
Was it like Ocean's 11? Did one of you was a distraction? One of you was doing a little, 3-card Monty in the background? What are we talking about here?
No, I mean, it's actually pretty hilarious. So we just walked around the palace. No one noticed us. That was a big life lesson for me where I was like, oh man, when people aren't looking for danger could easily sneak up on them.
I know. That's what I
When
learned.
you're at
with
work,
true crime.
when you're at work and you feel safe, you're not paying attention.
That's a good point.
Evil never looks up.
What if it's crossing the street?